Let's let people in. Hello, hello, hello. Okay. So I know that a lot of people are catching these as on catching the replays, I should say, watching it on catch up. So thank you to those of you that have managed to join me today. I am very grateful to have some friendly faces here whilst I do my day 3. So we're on day 3 of our 5 days, 5 ways to help your cat survive Christmas. And so far, just as a quick recap, whilst I'm just letting people into the room, we did day 1, which was all about you, the human. You put your own oxygen mask on first. So we talked about how to be aware of your energy, how your energy affects your cat, and how that can have a huge impact on what's going on in the home over Christmas in terms of how you cope and how the cats will cope. So I hope you found it useful if you've managed to catch day 1. If not, I really, really suggest that you go back and you watch it, because we've got a little bit of a breathing exercise and I really help you to kind of anchor and connect with yourself. So it's definitely one to watch. One of my favorites, I have to say. As much as I'm the cat lady, I do enjoy doing the human work as well. So day 2, we had all about individuality. So understanding your cat. Now, that in itself can be a whole other topic. And Kay, thank you very much for your email. Will be replying to you later. So, we talked yesterday about thinking, what does your cat like? What do they need? Will they tolerate dressing up? How do they cope with strangers in the home? So that was day 2. And then today we are talking about overwhelm. We are talking about the 5 senses. And again, it might seem really obvious, but sometimes just to hear someone say some of these things can make a big difference. It can really help you bring your awareness to the present moment and to think about what you've got in your home. So again, same as yesterday, I've got my notes to the side in case you see me looking away. I just want to make sure that I cover everything. I've got my Christmas top on so that we're day 3 of Christmas clothes. So without further ado, let's kick off. So today I want to talk to you about how your cats can experience overwhelm. Now, I know as humans, a lot of us are probably right up here with our threshold in terms of stress, Christmas fever, our own anxieties. Work can be busy as we prepare to take some leave. And as we mentioned on day 1, there are all the other really cool things that go with Christmas, but they do take a bit of mental capacity for us humans. And when we think about the cats, it's really the same for them. Yes, okay, they've not got opposable thumbs and they're not sat there wrapping presents or writing Christmas cards, but their whole landscape is changing. Their whole territory is all mixed up. It's all changed. So Rob and I love to have a bit of a grotto type house. We've got a lot of decorations in the home, but for Leo, his house, his home, his territory is completely different. So there are some people that put soft toys on the floor, or candle holders and things. We are very aware that we've got a lot of hanging decorations. So you can see my lights, which are always here all year round, because who loves twinkly lights? I've got tinsel on my bookcase, but on my floor I don't have anything new. So I'm aware of what is at his level, how does his territory change. So we've got the 5 senses that we're going to go through today. I'm going to touch on some and go into a few others in a bit more detail. If you've got any questions about your cat and their senses and overwhelm, drop them in the chat box. Or if you're catching this on replay, feel free to drop me an email. I love to hear from you guys. So first of all, taste. I'm not going to cover this too much today because we are going to talk about nutrition tomorrow, Christmas Day lunch, advent calendars, treats, etc. But know that Christmas, all I'm going to say about taste today is that what works for us in terms of treats and gluttony and overindulgence isn't perhaps as good for our cats. So we'll talk about taste tomorrow. So let's think about sight. So I've mentioned about the decorations. We've also got the tree, which again, if you've not caught the replay from yesterday, we talked about the tree yesterday, plastic or real, how to bring it into the home, how to help your cat with those changes and having that in its territory. But I want to just mention that in itself, the tree, regardless of plastic or real, it's a big thing, again, whether you've got a desktop one, half your height or 7 foot, ours is fairly big. It's a big thing. So we finally managed to get it last night. And like I said in the live, we did it in stages. So Leo at one point was huddled. He wasn't cowering. He was huddled between the chair and the sofa with eyes really, really big. So we brought the tree in its wrapping and left it, of which he was investigating. We had our dinner and everything, and then he was fine. Then we moved it into like position, and we took the coating off, the covering off, and obviously all the leaves were set, the branches were settling. And again, he's been in and around it. So, and we've left it. We've got a tree in the middle of our front room because Leo is adapting. So, and that's what we need to do. So this morning, I've noticed that he's hiding underneath it. He's actually using it as a plaything. So for Leo, because he's a bit of a cave dweller, he likes to be in dark spaces. He's using it as something, he's actually using it as a good thing. But have a think about your decorations. I'm getting to my point. This is my point. Where do you have your decorations in your home? Are they up high? Are they ceiling ones? Are they, in the doorways? Or are they cat level? Because if they're cat level, not only do they smell different, but they're going to be something literally physically in your cat's territory. And again, one little like poofy snowman as a doorstop might be fine. You might notice the cat sniff it. If they do, use your own scent pads. Use your own scent pads and rub it over things that are cat level. Again, might seem crazy because you're stroking a Santa doorstop or a snowman statue. But seriously, peeps, this will make a big difference because it smells like you. You've got scent pads just like your furry friend. So use your scent to put it onto these things that have been in the attic for 11 months, or you've brought new from the shop. They probably smell even worse. So think about what you've got at your cat level that they can smell, that they can see, and that they can smell, which brings me nicely onto smell. So I love scented candles. I haven't used them for years, I'll be honest. We found out when we had Pickle, some of the very well-known brands have got a lot of chemicals in. And then obviously I became vegan and we looked at getting soy candles and things, kind of going au naturel. But even so, as I learned about self-selection, I realized that personally for me, by burning, I've got Leo fluff on my lip gloss. Bear with me. The joys of having a cat. When I learned about self-selection, I realized that by me choosing to burn something in my home didn't give the cat choice. And that's all I'm about, giving cats a choice. So we don't have plug-in reeds. We don't plug-in diffusers. We don't use reeds in the home. We don't use any form of synthetic smells. And actually now we've got Leo who's asthmatic. It's even more essential that we don't have that in the house. So what I would say to you is when you think about Christmas, how can you have those natural smells? Can you get a stick of cinnamon and some cloves in a natural orange? And when you push the clove in, you'll release the orange smells, and within 24 hours, you'll have the lovely smells around your house. If you want to have the smells of Christmas, think about how you can do them naturally, would be my top tip. So we don't really have a Christmas smelling house until we cook the dinner on Christmas Day. It's something that I forego because Leo's health and wellness is my priority. When we brought the tree home last night, within an hour and a half, he coughed. And with Leo's asthma, it's very, very well maintained that he doesn't cough. So for us to see that, I knew already we'd brought a trigger into the home for him. So last night, husband and I were having a conversation about, do we need to go next year and have a plastic tree? Pros and cons for both plastic and natural. But Leo was coughing and I need to think about that. So do you have plugins? Do you have scent reed diffusers? Do you use an essential oil diffuser? Because again, there are companies and there are people who recommend it for Christmas. Put a drop or two of essential oil in your little water bath or your wax melts even, but it doesn't give the cat a choice. If you are absolutely set on doing them, that's completely your bag. That's up to you. Please make sure your cat has access to fresh air. And if they're an indoor cat, you need to make sure that they have more than one window that they can get to and not just in the room. They need to be able to sit near fresh air. So if you've got a catio, absolutely fabulous. If they've got access to outdoors, absolutely fabulous. If you've got an indoor cat, and this isn't indoor versus outdoor because I've got pros and cons for both. This is about the fact that cats don't metabolize toxins particularly well. Again, I'm going to be very careful with what I say because we haven't got a lot of time to go into that. This isn't about essential oils and about their liver production, their liver processing. This is about the fact that this is an opportunity for your cat to be overwhelmed. Burning things, diffusing things is an opportunity for your cat to feel unwell. And we don't always notice that. Like we talked about yesterday, signs of stress in cats can be very, very subtle. And I've had experiences where, I know of situations where people are burning things, diffusing things, and actually over time it builds up as toxicity in cats. So yes, Christmas can smell lovely, but have a think about if you are set on having your house smelling like Christmas, how can you do it naturally? So I'm going to circle back to essential oils because there are a few hints and tips I want to share with you as to how you can help your cat deal with some of the other signs of overwhelm. So we've done sight, we're going to do taste tomorrow. Let's talk about sound. So let's think about Christmas. Some people like a hustling, bustling home, lots of family come in, you play games, there are crackers, there is presents. And all of this sounds like the perfect Christmas to some people. Yet for a cat, this can be like their idea of a nightmare. So when you're sat down at Christmas Day and you've got your cracker to pull before lunch, have a think about where is the cat. So again, whenever we do ours, I'm always checking where Leo is, particularly because he was previously feral. He's very timid, very nervous. And I know not all cats are like that, but I kind of use him as an example because he's almost like the extreme, And if you've got a cat that is comfortable with people, you've got a cat that isn't really bothered by fireworks or noise, great. I'm really, really pleased for you, genuinely. But Leo's not like that. So we have fireworks around here sometimes, Christmas and New Year's Eve. Obviously, you've got the crackers on Christmas Day. We will look and see where he is. We'll generally try and get him upstairs with a treat. And then we'll quickly come down, pull the crackers and eat Christmas Day lunch. And he comes down to wonder what all the ruckus is. His husband and I share our jokes and, put our paper hats on, which again, bizarrely, some cats can react to see your facial profile looking different, to have that paper crown, so I would call it not a hat, paper crown on your head. Leo has looked at me funny before, so again, just read their body language. Are their ears going flat? Are their eyes going big? If so, just like gently take it off, talk to them softly and soothingly, and give them reassurance that it's you. So we've got crackers, we've got people knocking at the door for caroling. And again, lovely, absolutely lovely to hear that. Lovely to see people trying to raise money for charity. Lovely to hear the gorgeous voices that some of the young children have, or some of the people have that turn up to your door. Maybe you don't get carolers. And I really don't want you guys to think that I'm all doom and gloom of Christmas, because I absolutely love Christmas. But it's really about helping you to think, what are the stresses for your cat? The things that we think are lovely and fun and all part of the festive season, for them can be quite stressful. So carol singers, carols playing in the home. So we aren't really a family that plays a lot of music sort of generally. If Rob's listening to things when he's doing jobs, he's generally got headphones in because I like peace and quiet. So we're again opposite ends of the spectrum there. So we have a fairly quiet home 80-90% of the time. So at Christmas we do play carols, but the volume is quite low, so we can hear it, it's not blaring out. But how does your cat react to music? Are they okay with lots of noise? Because some cats are absolutely fine, doesn't really bother them, and there'll be people watching this thinking, Julianne, what are you talking about, this music? But just see how your cat's reacting when you put the music on. Okay, a couple more things. How are we doing for time with sound? Is paper. Again, we mentioned this yesterday, so if you've not caught the replay from yesterday, be sure to watch it. We talked about when you're present wrapping and when you're present unwrapping, how to help your cat with that noise, with that crinkly crunching sound. Think about if you need to do it somewhere where they're not. Think about if they want to play or if they're fearful, because the cat will be very clear with you when it comes to paper, whether they're happy or not with it. And then the last thing I want to mention about voices is, which leads me into touch as well. See how I've segued them all nicely? That's by pure luck rather than design. So is voices. So when you've got people coming to your home, I mean, hopefully we'll still be able to have friends and family over this year. So what do your cats generally do? So Leo runs and hides regardless. And it's unfortunate because the family are desperate to meet him, to interact with him, but that's what he needs to do. So how do your cats react if there are other people in your home? So you've got the voices we mentioned on Monday about their energy and their scent, their smell. What are your cat's reactions to that? So when we talk about people in the home, you've got guests coming Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, Boxing Day, maybe all three, maybe you've got people staying over. What can you do to support your cat? So here are some of the basics, really. Make sure you've got places they can hide away. Make sure you've got places they can go where the people aren't, again, indoors or outdoors. So Leo will hide away in the spare room. So if we were having people to stay over, Rob and I would actually go and sleep in that spare room, despite the fact we're going from a super king bed to a double bed and he's over 6 foot tall. We'd have to make it work. But Leo in that space is safe, and I would want to be with him so he has even more reassurance. Also think about if you're bringing young people, young children into the home, grandchildren, children, nieces, nephews. How old are they, and what lessons have they been given in terms of animal respect? So my gorgeous niece Annabelle, she has so much love to give animals, and she has been taught very, very, very carefully to, give her hand for an animal to stroke, to ask the guardian of the dog or the cat or whoever's around if she can approach the animal. She's been taught to respect animals. And don't get me wrong, when she was younger, she would sort of run to my dad's house and want to pick the cats up and just squidge them close, as we all would do, actually. And she has she's had some great lessons in how to deal with animals. So have a think about the children that are coming to your home. Are they of an age when they can understand respect for animals? And if not, that's okay. But if that is the case, I would recommend you put your animals or your cat somewhere before the family turn up. So we've had instances with Pickle where we kept her in a room when we had people to come and stay. She wasn't very well. She had a litter tray, food, water in one room, obviously in different corners. It wasn't all together. So it might feel extreme, and it might feel almost like you're punishing them because it's their house and you're putting them into one room. But trust me, it will be the best thing for them. Whether it's 24 hours or a weekend, as long as they've got their essential resources, they will be fine. And if you to give them even more comfort, give them something that smells of you. So a pillowcase, a worn t-shirt, pajamas, whatever it may be. So they've got your scent in there as well as extra reassurance. But having the cat shut away for 24 hours, an afternoon, whatever it may be, gives them less input. It's less stress, it's less noise, it's less anxiety. So when they're already potentially a little unsettled with the changes in the home, the decorations, the presents, the people, the comings and goings, it actually gives them chance to decompress. It gives them an opportunity to almost bring their anxiety and their stress down, because all they've got to monitor in their territory in that moment is the space around them in those four walls. So you're actually doing them a favor by kind of constraining where they're allowed to go. You can be downstairs having, fun and games with the family, and occasionally pop up or pop in wherever they are to check on them and see how they're doing. Give them a little bit of cuddles, give them a bit of reassurance. Okay, so and the last point really to mention on touch is, because we've talked a little bit there about overwhelm and about younger children, is grown-ups. And, I'm not going to hate on people here. Yes, I am. I do love cats, and I am, cat mad, but not everyone sees cats the way that a lot of us do. Some people see them literally just as pets or just as animals, and not everybody respects them in the same way. And that's okay, because, each to their own. Everyone's unique, and everyone is entitled to their own opinion and their own perspectives. So have a think about, do you need to have a word with anybody in your family? And I tell you what, ladies and gentlemen, don't worry about how they view you. Don't worry about what they think of you. It's irrelevant, and that's on them. Have a think about, do you need to say, would you mind just waiting there so I can sort the cat before you come in? Or would you mind just sitting there quietly while I sort the cat and then I'll be back? I've done all of those things. You know, I've said to my mum before, when you turn up, please don't ring the doorbell because it really upsets and frightens Leo. Gently tap on the door. I will be looking out for you anyway, so you might not need to do that. I'll be at the door if I can. I've said to our in-laws when they've come to stay, can everybody just sit perfectly still, not make a sound? I need to get Leo out from behind the sofa. I need him to think that you're not here, you know, and I really don't care what they think. That's, like I said, that's on them. My priority in those moments are my animals, are my cats, and making sure that they're safe, well, and in the best place that they can be. So do you need to speak to someone? Do you need to give somebody a heads up before they come to your house? You know, we are able to say to people for ourselves, I don't want to eat that, thank you, or I don't really like that, thank you. You know, we're able to speak up. We're able to use our voices and to say to people what we do and do not want. Whether we do or not, again, that's on us. But our cats don't have the capacity to do that. They don't have the capacity to say, Mum, I'm scared, or I need this, or I need that. So we have to speak for them. We have to give them a voice when it comes to this time of year when our cat's world is completely turned upside down. Their territory, shape, size, and smell is all completely different because of what we're doing in the home to make it lovely for Christmas, don't get me wrong. So they are in a very big period of flux at this time of year. So what can we do to help them? And do we need to speak to people and say, look, I'm sorry, my cat won't tolerate touch. Please don't try to stroke it. Or if my cat approaches you, please just let it rub against your leg. And equally, you'll have people that will say to you, I don't like cats. Don't let it near me. So that's okay. So we can honor what they're saying. And we also ask that they honor what we're saying as representing our cats. So it's about having that honest conversation, which yes, sometimes can be difficult. And yes, sometimes can be awkward. But trust me, you will feel so much better after you've had this slightly awkward conversation or exchange with a human. You'll feel better for your cat because you'll see that they're able to cope with having people in your home. They're able to actually cope with, you know, seeing others in their territory. Okay, and so just circling back to smell. So I would always recommend you've got herbs down. So I consider herb gardens just as an essential a resource as a litter tray. Indoor or outdoor cat, pooping inside, pooping outside, doesn't make a difference. You've always got a litter tray down, or you should have. Herbs are just the same. So for Christmas, Leo and I created the Calming Christmas Selection Box, which has got 10 herbs in it, which are all really relaxing and soothing. And, you know, if you're not sure, ask, get some help, ask me, reach out. But putting down some herbs in a lovely quiet corner is a great way to give your cat a self-soothing coping mechanism. So if you do decide to shut them away in one room or half of the house, or, you know, a turret or whatever size house that you've got, whatever it may be, put down some herbs. Please, please, please put down some herbs. Even if you've just got like 2 or 3, you know, the selection box has got 10. So you've got different ones that you can offer to your cat. If you've only got a couple, just put a couple down. Put down whatever you have, up to 4 per garden. And obviously, if you've got more than one cat, you need to put down more than one garden. So when it comes to Christmas, we're not having people here. We're going to be going to see people. Leo will have a herb garden down, and he's actually going to have 2 because one night we're away overnight with my in-laws and my family are going to come and look after him. He'll have his normal one downstairs in the dining room, and he's going to have one upstairs in our bedroom as well. So because in our bedroom is where our scent is going to be most concentrated, and I want him to feel safe, so he'll have herbs to help him there as well. So in the selection box, and you know, some of the top herbs would be chamomile, obviously calming, valerian reduces anxiety, Angelica root opens the cat up to healing, and lavender, again, very, very calming and soothing. Some of the really simple ones, you know. So you can get we've got a couple of the Calming Christmas selection boxes left. And also, let's just talk a little bit about essential oils in the last few minutes. So if you haven't already got a copy, you need to get the book, Aromatic Cat Book. So we've got 40 different profiles in here for 40 different remedies. And we talk about how to use essential oils perfectly naturally and perfectly safe with cats, because yes, they are amazing and can be used with cats. So if you haven't got the book, you can get it from my website, www.naturallycats.co.uk. I'll pop a link in the follow-up email with the recording. And just as a parting gift, if you've got nothing else or decide to get nothing else but a couple of essential oils, I'd highly, highly recommend sandalwood and frankincense. Make sure they're from a reputable oil supplier, and put 1 drop of sandalwood and 1 drop of frankincense each on a piece of fabric. So whether you've got a cut up face cloth or a clean one, obviously, a cut up t-shirt, a cut up shirt, whatever it may be, a cut up pair of pants, you know, it really doesn't matter. But a nice piece of like cotton based fabric, and you get the piece of fabric, literally just 1 drop in the middle of the piece of fabric and put it on the floor. It's all you need to do. 1 drop of sandalwood, 1 drop of frankincense, and put them in different places and just leave them on the floor. If your cat needs those remedies, if your cat decides to work with those remedies, you'll see them either sit near, walk past, sit beside, or pause, not pause, but, you know, stop, pause near the pieces of fabric. You might see them, their nostrils flare. You might see them take a nice deep breath. You might see them do the Felin response, where they slightly open their mouth a little to take the scent in more. Again, all the signs of processing that you can look out for are in the book. So why sandalwood? Why frankincense? Because they are 2 of the most calming and emotionally supportive remedies. They also help with fear of loud noises. They help with overwhelm. So we've talked all about the 5 senses. We've talked about the signs that your cat can show you. We've talked about how you can help them, thinking about what you've got going on in your home, how to make it a little bit cat friendly. Having those difficult conversations with people, you know, is all part of how you can help and speak up for your cat. The frankincense and sandalwood, just 1 drop, because they are so potent, not near food, not near litter trays, and not near scratching posts. So somewhere, for example, like in our front room, I'd probably put it near one of our chairs, you know, so it's not near anything of Leo's. The other one probably go at somewhere on the landing, you know, somewhere random, that if they need them, they can have them. Obviously make sure it's a piece of fabric that's big enough so that your cat can't ingest it. Not that I've ever experienced that in 15 plus years of working with cats, but there's always a first for everything. So make sure it's a good big piece of fabric, and make sure it's cotton based, because with that, what happens with it, the fibers of the cotton actually absorb the essential oil. So you see, you put the drop on and it'll actually expand as it goes into the fibers, which is another way to dilute it. If you're not comfortable working with essential oils, absolutely fine. You don't have to. You can always mix it with water if you want to dilute it. So get a nice cup of water, put the essential oil drop in there, give it a good mix up, and then use some of that onto the piece of fabric. Or as I said, have a herb garden down. Okay, valerian, lavender, angelica, and chamomile or rose, all of which are in here. And like I said, we've got the Calming Christmas selection box. So I hope today's been useful. There are lots and lots of hints and tips today. So overall, essential oils, herbs, have them down. Consider what you've got at cat level in and around your house. What are you doing for smells? How are you making it smell Christmassy? Do you need to make it smell Christmassy? What can the cat see, hear, and be around? Okay, so I want you all to think about putting yourself in your cat's paws today. Do not get down on hands and knees, because I know there'll be some of us, me included, that can't get back up. So I don't want you going down to cat's level, but perhaps just take a moment to pause and have a look around and see what your cat's experiencing this Christmas. I hope you have a lovely day, everyone. Thank you very much for joining me. We'll get the replay out to you soon, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Take care. Bye for now.